Okay, it has started.
All right, start of a new turn. This is turn. What turn is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reinforcements for Carthage are going to be, let's see, 1 in Africa, as always. Don't get the Carthanova one. 1 in Batika, which will go with Hasdrubal. And 1 with any general, which will go with Hannibal. I am done with my reinforcements.
All 2 will be going to the proconsul.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he can get himself out.
Now the question...
Yeah, I do have this question too, yeah. But
you're behind the walls. You're not besieged, so technically you can be reinforced, but you don't have space in the walls to store those guys. So we should look up on the reinforcements thing to see if there's any sort of... I
would assume they go out and sacrifice themselves.
Restrictions on placement, maybe? May not be placed inside a besieged walled city. In the event that an enemy force occupies an unbesieged friendly walled city space, reinforcement may still be placed inside the walled city provided the total CUs in the walled city do not exceed the maximum amount. But an enemy general without combat units is not... So that would exceed the wall restrictions. So
yeah. Okay, so...
placed in that space.
They do not go into the walls.
So it seems to me that Rome's unrest... If we were to put this in Republic of Rome's term, your unrest is like at around 15.
I've got manpower shortage.
No recruitment. Actually, there's actually a step above manpower shortage called no recruitment. That's probably what you got. You do have to pick a proconsul, though.
The Punic Wars are probably all activated. Statistically impossible to win.
Exactly.
New proconsul. What if I was to make Fabius proconsul?
Then Marcellus would be put back in the deck. And his troops would go out into Nova Carthage, and T. Longus would go. So it gives you the potential of getting Marcellus as a consul. So I think that's actually a good play. So it goes over here. This way we've been playing it. So he can come back potentially. And then I'll move the 2 troops to there. And we'll put it under the city, I guess. Oops. And then he's...
So... Oh, I got him.
Of course. You haven't gotten hardly any of the really bad generals. You got T. Longus again. It's like the exact same. I heard it shuffle.
Yeah, I shuffled it a lot.
All right. All right. So then, can you place them?
You can only place them now in Roma because Rule 6.5 explains why.
Thank you.
Rule 6.5.
Thank you. So pick one of your generals as the commander. Probably Marcellus, I would think, but that's your call. I put his piece over here.
Where's Maximus?
He's already on the board, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's flipped upside down.
Well, they'll all be there, so...
Who's going to be the commander is my question.
Not Longus. This guy.
Marcellus. All right. 8 cards apiece. Go ahead and deal yourself 8. So we do our little chat with Alex at this point.
Yeah, okay. I go to Capitoline Lobby then.
I have the perfect plan.
Yes?
Truce. that is my full plan.
Actually, yeah. If he couldn't break it, he can't continue besieging, right?
No, you can't.
But it all depends actually on the if he could break the truce, right? If he has a card where he could break the truce with it.
Oh, a truce would actually not be good because it means I can no longer enter his PCs.
Yeah, but you okay, but to be fair, with which generals would you enter those PCs?
Well, if he stops besieging me,
why should he?
Well, with the truce card, I mean. If I was to play the truce card, I can't enter his PCs anymore. So it breaks his siege.
Do you think so?
I
would have
I can then
in the rules.
I can then leave the walls. I would assume.
No, if you play the truce, the rules say it is. I will give you the page number. It's page number 28. Look, there is the number 64 on page 28.
Oh yeah.
Read under 64 what there is written about the truce in conjunction with the accumulated siege points.
Still worth an effort to play it so he can't kill me by siege.
Yeah, he can't kill you by siege because he can't continue yet. But he will keep what he's got right now, right? Is it your understanding also? Okay.
Yes. He can't gain any more, but he doesn't leave the siege and his siege still is there.
Yeah.
Well, that's my whole plan. The rest of my cards are all either in his favor or not good. So I got tribal resistance, hostile tribes, treachery within city, which doesn't help me at all because I'm not sieging anyone. And then I've got his cards. So I've got Philip V of Macedon, allies of Carthage. Mm-hmm. It's not a good card for me. Mutins, Numidians. I don't know what that means. So it's just add more PCs in non-walled areas in Cilicia. Carthaginian naval victory. It's pretty bad.
Okay.
And Hannibal charms Italy.
Okay. May I ask how many operation points in sum there are, or how many operation points?
I've got 3 1s, 4 2s, 1 3.
Okay, not that great, right? Not so many operation points then. Okay.
No, it's pretty low.
Pretty low, yeah, that's true. Okay, so, something else you wanted to say? Do you think you can survive this round?
If I have truce, I can survive all the way to the end, when I will then inevitably have to lose all my PCs, I think. Unless I can somehow gain enough. But I think if truce is played, he will immediately go for the PC victory way. Mm-hmm. Unless he can break it. Okay. So the chances of me winning, or not winning, but holding on for the full turn is quite low.
Because once Rome is captured by siege, the game is over anyway, right?
Yeah. The only way to stop that, really, is truce.
Okay, I see. Yeah, let's see how it works out. It will be interesting.
It probably won't work.
Yeah. To be fair,
I'll go off to general now.
Yeah. Hey, Scott.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, all right. I got my campaign, a minor campaign card that I was hoping for.
Why were you hoping for that card again?
Because it should allow me to do a double siege roll in one turn.
Okay, I see. Because of the 2 generals or what?
Right.
Yeah. Actually, you have 3 generals. Did you know that?
You're right. I do have 3 generals. Yeah, with Gizko.
Okay.
It's
a minor campaign, not a major, right?
Correct. It's a minor. I only have 1. That means he probably has a campaign. Maybe 2. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he had 2. Probably also, because there's only 4 cards left in the deck, he probably also has one of those remove the siege points Fang cards. So I'm probably going to go with the strangle. I was telling Elfie, who's spectating, I've never won the game in a situation where the player at the end, when they have to remove their PC markers, or they don't have any PC markers left. So
you never won in this way?
I've never won that way. I think I want to try.
You want to try. Okay.
I want to try that approach. So, but I don't. I have the minor campaign. I have a one other 3. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 2 cards and then 2 1s. So we'll see how well I can do it or not. Because what I want to do is be able to take both Sardinia and Sicily, and thereby, because he had to get rid of 9 PC markers last time. Yes. So if I can, as far as he has to get rid of even more, then that would be even better for that. So, but I need to block him from being able to get too many flags out on the board to give himself enough of a barrier. So we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. I may end up, I don't know what I'm probably going to have him go first. Or do I want to do that though? Because I think I want to block Eritrea first so he can't put flags there. So I'm probably going to go first.
Okay, the plan is to win by the
strangulation.
Yeah, that he doesn't have enough PC markers at the end. That's the plan, right?
Right.
And the strategy would be to place your PC markers at strategic positions that he can't.
That's what I'll probably. Yeah, that's probably what I'll start off with. But I want to save so I can do I'll save that campaign so I can do a siege if I need to.
Okay.
So we'll see how that shakes out.
Okay, interesting.
All right, I'm going to drop.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hello. Do you have a campaign you'd like to play?
Good question. No.
All right, then I will play a 3 ops to place flags. I will place a flag there. There and there.
Okay. Interesting. I call for a truce.
He's got the truce.
So
the turn
you
mark.
Retain,
individual truce.
You retain the.
So we keep this out.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think.
So you retain the besieged points, but you can't make any more attempts for
either
as long
player
as
may enter a space containing an enemy combat unit. Truce leaves play when either player uses strategy card marked as with the broken olive branch as a reshuffle the deck at the end of the turn, which was going to be reshuffled anyways. All right, so truce is in effect.
Isn't this nice? The Carthaginians and Romans live now in peace.
I think the war should end on a white peace. I think we should just go back to the way things were. When we used to be best of buds.
Okay, I'm in Latium, right?
Yes.
And that's that. That must be what it's doing. Okay. I am going to... What do I have here? 7, huh? I'm going to play Epidemic for the event, which will break the truce, and have the Roman army make an attrition roll.
Which army?
The one in Rome.
Oh.
The one with 1 unit.
So, rolling for anything under 6. That was
5
close.
is no effect. Yeah.
That was close,
Your plan.
really, yeah.
So no more truce, but we still have the reshuffle the deck thing. We were going to reshuffle it anyway. Just leave it. Yeah, right there is fine. Your play.
Oh, yeah. Philip V of Macedon for the ops. So 1, 2, 3. And I gain control of Sicily.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct. Yeah.
I concur. I will play a 2 to some PC markers down there and there. Done.
I will play another 2. The ops. 1, 2. So I gain control over that.
Yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm. I will play a 1 ops to activate Hannibal to pick up 2 troops. Move to this spot here. Drop off 1 troop. Move back to Rome, pick up the rest of the army and siege the city. So basically shuffle 1 troop out. To there.
Now he can intercept though, right?
I had a army already in the spot, so no, he can't.
Oh yeah, Mago.
He's behind the wall.
Yeah. He didn't leave the siege.
No. The siege is still active, yeah. So, siege roll. I need to roll the white die. Rolling the white die now. Got another siege point.
How about we call it a draw? I will do that card.
Hannibal charms Italy.
Oops, I've had all your good cards.
You had the Hannibal hand, huh?
Yeah, I will. Put one there and put one there.
Two ops. Put one there. Done.
Actually,
wait. Instead of that last one, I want to flip this one here. Up here.
So then you gain control over
Eritrea, yeah.
Uh-oh. You've got more of Italy than me. And I'm Rome. Clear that for the op. I'll just put it there.
All set?
Yes.
Minor campaign. I'm going to do the trick you did in Nova Carthage, and
oh no.
Hannibal will attack with 3, and Mago will attack with 3. That's what's Gizgo's thing. I don't think he gets. Let's have Gizgo attack. He didn't do anything this game. May avoid battle in 1-3. So, starting with Hannibal, siege roll. Roll. Oh, there's game.
Okay.
Yep. Rome flips.
Yeah. GG, Scott.
Thank you.
What does it say when Carthage flips? Oh, it's just the flags.
Just the flags of that's what's inside.
Damn. Well, GG. That was a good game. Good slaughter.
Thank you. It was fun.
Yeah.
I thought you were a little too aggressive with Rome.
I know. I think first turn was my best turn. but I was too aggressive. So it led to all my other turns being a bit too
right.
weird. Because
last turn you saw the power of Hannibal and I won 4 battles. Now that was probably, I don't know, I had the advantage on every one of them in terms of battle card count, I think.
Yeah.
I would at least by 1 or 2. I was surprised that the elephant fright didn't come up, but it just was buried in the deck because I happened to draw it this hand, I think, or last hand, whatever. So yeah, Hannibal's pretty powerful, even if he has not a fully maxed out army.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see how he can.
As soon as he lost his elephants, I think that's when I started attacking him nonstop because I thought, now he's weak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't. I didn't have many battle cards to go with either. The strategy cards to go with the battle cards. I think I only used 1, where I got to see half your deck.
Right. Yeah, that was a big that didn't turn out to be that great. I don't think the battle one, but the one where you stole a card from me, one of the strategy cards, that was a big play. It kind of nerfed what I was planning to do that turn.
Yeah, with Lucania.
Right.
I think.
Kinda
Or maybe
slowed
it wasn't
down.
that. Oh yeah, no, I flipped. Oh, that was a different thing. Never mind. I'm on about a different thing, I think. I'm on about when I flipped.
Yeah, that was
yours.
a good turn. Yeah, that was actually I think the turn before that where you flipped the diplomacy, and it was perfectly timed because I literally the next card I was going to play was the Capua sides with Carthage, but in order for that to happen, I needed to have 3 provinces, and you doing that diplomacy took away one of them. I had 3, but that took away one of them, so now I had 2. So that was well timed. When I play Rome, I typically try to hold on until Scipio Africanus is in play.
Sorry,
And
can I
then-
just go for a minute?
Sure.
Really urgent thing.
So Alex and Elfie, what'd you guys think?
I guess I'm here.
Congratulations.
Is Elfie is in? Oh, Elfie's there. Okay, maybe Elfie wanted to say something.
No, I must not know. Just say congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm gonna let the seniority take charge here and hold my tongue.
So I would ask you, Scott, what would you say to the turn before this last turn? What were there major? Could he have played in such a way that he could have really turned the situation, or was it already on the had he already such an upper head?
Last turn was pretty, I think, probably the pivotal turn. Well, it's hard to say if what one particular point was pivotal, but it was certainly significant because he had a lot more forces than I did in total. I mean, he had 2 good-sized armies. He had
That's
like
true.
one of it, and a general with 10, just north of Rome, I think, and then he had Fabius Mac. That was T. Longus, and then he had Fabius Maximus in Rome with 9. So he had 19 troops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At the beginning of that turn, he ended with 1 troop left.
Yeah.
He ended the turn with 1 troop, and Rome under siege. So that not a great turn. The part of it was when he I think he was going to attack me, and I intercepted him. That was Fabius, and so that allowed me a battle.
Hello, I'm
At
back.
a point when it wasn't my turn, a battle that was on his turn. So it's almost like I got a free action to attack him. And because I had 4 provinces, that 4 battle cards as allies in Italy is big.
Yeah.
For Hannibal, because he only gets the 2, and so Brent, you just came back. The question Alex asked me was in the previous turn. Was there something that you could have done or played differently? Maybe correct me if I get the question wrong, Alex. But is there something you could have done differently that would be in a better position?
Yes.
And I think if you had been more defensive, if you had basically kept Fabius Maximus in Rome with his 9, because he's more of a defensive-oriented general, just by virtue of activating him, in my mind at least. Trying to get Samnium, I think, was a good idea. I would have stuck with that plan. Had you gone up further, because I had told Alex in our little side sessions, had you gone up to because before it looked like up here. It was, I think this was yours.
Yeah.
And then you had a troop right here. And had you kind of gone up into Cisalpine Gaul, up into this area, then I was strongly considering having Hannibal go trap you up there. And kind of put Hannibal in between maybe like here or here. So that way I could threaten Rome, probably there would be the better spot. So threaten Rome, so that would force you to kind of keep Fabius in Rome to defend against it, rather than sending Fabius down over here and reclaiming some of these provinces. And then you probably would have felt obligated to attack, or you might have felt obligated to attack Hannibal with your army up here, which would have been good for me, because I know I would have had the advantage because of the allies. And just Hannibal being better as a general overall. And in my mind, if I could get you, if I can get Hannibal in an advantageous position, and I can get you to attack him, then that's kind of a win for Carthage, because at least in that little scenario, because it's a free attack, which is likely going to be a success, but on your turn, so you're having to spend a card to activate it. And that kind of happened over here last turn when you moved Fabius out and I intercepted you. That was kind of that type of thing. So that was one of because there was 4 combats, I think, last turn.
Yeah, I said that the only real thing I said I would have changed is I wouldn't have gone to here, I would have gone to here, because there's a less chance. There's a 1 less chance.
Right.
You would have successfully intercepted.
Yeah, I still would have tried to intercept. But yeah,
I know. But it would have lower chance. Lower chance of me failing, really, like that battle.
So I was under the impression that Brand, you may correct me, but that Brand was under the impression that Hannibal could roam freely, and therefore he had to push the attack right and try to outwear Hannibal, I guess. I
think I maybe just don't know how to play Rome, but a lot of the game you were just running through Italy, right? And I was saying in the reviews and the pre-turn interview thing, I was saying a lot of the time that I just need to constantly harass Hannibal to like whittle him down.
Right.
Because he's gaining a troop every turn, and I'm gaining 5. So
right, and I can see that. The key, I think, because I had said before, I forget who I mentioned to, but I feel more comfortable playing Carthage than I do Rome in this game, because I tend to be, me the player, I tend to be more offensive oriented. I prefer to be the one attacking than defending. And early on, Rome is defending, so that's why. And they have so much coastal area to defend, so it can be challenging. If Hannibal can get kind of trapped down in the south, though, if you're not too careful, because if Rome is able to get Fabius Maximus and Marcellus at the same time, that's a pretty, and then or even one of those two and Scipio Africanus in the middle or late game, that's a powerful team. And they can, by sheer force of numbers, kind of beat Hannibal into submission. And if you get them trapped down here, there's no easy port to get away. You can't go through land. So it's kind of harder. You can get them trapped down there. And then hopefully by trapping them down there, you've got another general who's either in Africa or in Spain gobbling up stuff.
There was one moment where I really wanted to. I actually attempted it, but then you rightly pointed out that I couldn't do it because my cards couldn't let me. I either wanted to go straight for Carthage and just test it with the 10 troops, because I had 14 or so troops in Rome, and I was just building a death stack so I could invade somewhere, but none of my cards would allow that. Right. I was either going to help in Carthage, Nova Carthage, because I think at that time you had started building up this army, and at that point I was getting aware that army is probably going to attack because it had elephants in it and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was either thinking you're either going to attack Nova Carthage or you're going to go into Italy or Sicily. So my kind of assumption there was I need to be the one attacking to. Essentially, the best defense is offense. That's kind of the thing I tried to do there, where I tried to just press the attack constantly.
Right.
In there.
I think with Rome, you want to, for the first 5 turns, before you have Scipio Africanus, you want to be more defensive oriented, and you want to take your little victories where you can get them. And then you're kind of biding your time until Scipio Africanus comes into play. And then when he's in play, you want to just go put the pedal to the floor and go as hard as you can and keep up the pressure on Carthage, because they're not going to have as many reinforcements as you're going to have. That's my...
May I? add
Go ahead.
something? So once, so I would say once Hannibal has passed into Italy proper, I mean Samnium or Etruria,
Mm-hmm.
I would say then the goal would be to first try to create a situation where you have two consuls and Hannibal is alone for the in the beginning. So first I would try to have at least one consul in the north and the other in the south, because most of the time it seemed that the consul were concentrated somewhat nearby always, right? And the idea would be that Hannibal is alone and he can't be everywhere, and you could make use of this by better placement of your consuls, right, or proconsuls to be at more places. And he has to be careful where to go, because he has also the obligation to defend what he has got, right? If it's not, and then I would say Hannibal is going to get weak if he's trying to lay down some CUs, right? This is a tactic which is always pursued, and one has to have an eye on this kind of situation, and then maybe to strike and use this in combination. If you strike and try to also retreat from a battle sometimes, maybe not take the full battle on, but at some stage try to retreat and only get attrition hits and not the at the end the casualty hits. And you could wear down Hannibal by retreating at some points. You take the attrition for sure, but he will also take attrition, and then you can wear him down, but you will not lose all of your army. And a combination of those, if he is already in Italy proper. But before that, I would also advise to stop him to not get into Italy proper with Cisalpine Fortress or something like this.
Right. Yeah, but if you do, so that's I like that idea of the retreat, because you can, after like the 4th or 5th round of battle cards, they maybe do the retreat instead. So the Cisalpine Fortress typically is where you have a Roman general up here, and then another one here, right?
Yeah, or in Cisalpine proper here, you would
or up here
go into this situation, and see what happens.
Yeah, stack a couple big generals with big amounts of troops to prevent Hannibal from getting through. But if he gets through, this spot right here is a very pivotal spot in the south, because it connects to all these different areas on the map. It's like this. It's like the Gettysburg. If you think of Gettysburg as all these different roads that meet together, maybe it's an American Civil War reference.
No idea.
Okay, bad reference.
I think I don't even know which state Gettysburg is.
But if Hannibal's sitting right there, he can intercept in every one of these spots.
Yeah.
But if you've got, if Hannibal's here and he's like taking command of the south, I was talking about how you can get Hannibal trapped. Well, then if you've got, some other general over here with a stack of 10 troops, and you've got Fabius Maximus in this spot, well, then Fabius Maximus can intercept here or here. He's a 3, and he's a good match. And if you have Fabius Maximus, and so that way you can kind of prevent Hannibal from once he gets through, you can have a halfway decent job of preventing him from going back north. Because there's a 50% chance Fabius Maximus is going to intercept. And if the other general's halfway decent, then he might intercept into here. And then the Romans are going to have 15, 20 cards. They're going to max out their card hand, which might give them enough.
And that's what they historically try to do, right? To contain him in the south.
Yeah.
That's what they
so they've set up the map very much to allow for that.
Yeah.
And then while you've got the 2 Roman generals, if you got Fabius Maximus and some other guy who's halfway decent here, and then you got Scipio Africanus then you can send him off to go do something else, invade Africa, invade Spain.
Yeah.
Because he's so mobile. He's the same statistics as Hannibal, but his special power is related to sieges, which is good against Carthage, the city proper. So then he can potentially thwart there.
And you can even fill up Capua with 2 infantry just to have.
Just a huge stack of infantry there. You don't have a great general, but you've got enough cards to hopefully outlast, or at the very least wear down, like Alex was saying. Hannibal. But of course, it's not guaranteed because there's things a Carthage player could probably do. So,
and from a more strategic point of view, you have always to consider if he does damage to you, how do you revert the situation? So you have always to think a he damaged
tit for tat.
me. Yeah, tit for tat. Yeah, he damaged me now, and how do I pay him back now? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there are other actions. If you take those actions and you do not think about paying him back, it only spirals the amount of losses you have in the future. So, for example, if you lose PC markers, try to think how you can get them back before thinking to go to battle. So for most of the time, to battle Hannibal in the beginning, so it's not really the best option, I guess.
Yeah, that's a bad idea, I think.
Yeah.
You want to wait till you have enough forces up and you've got you hopefully got a good proconsul. You got like Marcellus or Fabius Maximus, and you got a good enough, like a Nero is a good enough second consul.
Yeah.
The one thing you were doing that I thought was a good idea was when you started putting PC markers up here, because that is a common tactic for whichever player is behind on this chart over here to start using this as almost like a bank of, I know I'm going to lose 3 or 4, so I'm just going to bank them up here and I'll lose those. That's a good idea.
This one and a bunch up here as bank, because this one you can't land there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't put it here yourself.
Yep, and this one too is in Sicily. There is another good one. And Alex, if you recall, in one of our discussions, I even said I was considering putting PC markers up here just to deny you that bank.
Yeah.
In some way, but I never got to it. Because I was worried you had that last turn. I was worried you had one of those cards that allowed you to get rid of the siege points.
Oh, you've got no idea. I had earlier on, I can't remember which turn. It might have been the 3rd turn. Mm-hmm. I had 2 of those cards, and one of them was 1 if it's a port, I think.
Right.
And the other one was 2 if it's not a port.
Mm-hmm.
Or something along those lines. But it would have completely stopped a siege. And I was hoping you would siege...
Nova Carthage.
Nova Carthage. I think it was Nova Carthage. I was... wanting you to siege, or I thought maybe if Hannibal tries to, because I think this is when I denied you that card, which flips.
You're right.
That, and I thought you might, just for revenge, you might go there just to siege it down. So I was hoping one of those would happen.
And there's also the idea to think about strategically about the advantage of the last turn, that you are the last one to play a card, and how you can get into a situation where you have some cascading effects, where you remember the card where you could take away a card from Scott.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then you would have you have +1 card. He has 1 less card, and if you are then in the situation that you were already starting as the player who reacts, so Scott would be the player who started, then you would have a possibility to do real damage, because then you, for example, let some province revolt and immediately put PC markers down to get it for yourself. And to think strategically to create those situations is also important.
Yeah.
How can I create those cascading effects?
I
think
like
one
to
thing-
often with Carthage, because Carthage, if assuming Rome doesn't play a campaign card, Carthage has the ability to let Rome go first. And so you can really compound what Alex was saying. If you let Rome go first, and if Carthage happens to have that card that, steal another card from the other player, because not only does it give you multiple plays, but it also, Carthage might get the next first play of the subsequent turn. So if they had like 3 plays, they might even get a 4th play the next turn to start off. Which could be huge if you're able to structure it the right way. Often easier said than done, but it's a I've had it done to me many a time by other players. So I was like, oh, that was painful.
Yeah, there are players who are really good at this. So
Yeah. I bet you some of them are listening to our strategies and saying, nah, they don't want to do that. That would be the silly thing to do.
yeah,
Brent,
we
you were
are
going
for
to say
sure
something?
not at the top, right? But we have some advice, I guess, which is good for brand, I would say.
Yeah, I've learnt a lot in this game because I've played both sides now, and I know the differences.
Yeah, they play
And,
very different.
I played the opposite of how you should both times. when I was Carthage, I was way too defensive.
Okay.
And when I'm Rome, I'm way too offensive.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Carthage has to be played aggressive, I guess, because Hannibal is created for this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was gonna say in the game that I did with Scott months ago, the first game, I was Carthage, and Carthage doesn't start with
They do
this
better.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember, I think it was like the second turn I remembered because you'd already gathered this coastline here.
Mhm.
And I remembered at that point I was like, I should have gone after this because that really slows down Hannibal. I would assume because he's got to stop and delay and put his troops here just to get it back.
Yeah.
And I remember I did that when I was with Hannibal. I stopped and just went to each and every one just to gain all the control back. And then I had this place revolts. The middle bit of Iberia.
Celtiberia.
I had that revolts, and I had like nothing there to even connect it anywhere back to me. So it was completely wasted, I think, and it wouldn't have been if I had early on gone for Iberia with the PC markers.
Yeah, the thing is, so for example, if we take this, what was said by Scott, right? The Carthaginian player can decide if Rome goes first, right? So if you, as Carthaginian player, let Rome go first on the first turn, you are in danger of having this play, right? That Rome takes Ilubeda, and then you have to deal with the situation and think, oh, how do I reverse the situation now? And then you have to take your time, maybe, and that will slow down Hannibal's advance to Italy, and that's good for Rome. As long as it more time, better for Rome.
I don't remember, but I think I did that exact thing. I think I let Scott go first because I was like, I don't know the game. Scott can show me on my first move, and he immediately went for this area.
A pretty common start for either player, like Alex is saying, is these 3 spots here because they prevent the other player from putting things further in because they won't be able to trace back to a port. So the political isolation will isolate them. I think this is also a common one here for Carthage, at least, because that way it gets you 3 for Cisalpine Gaul.
Yeah.
I have seen arguments made by players to actually that Cisalpine Gaul to camp like Longus or a general that has halfway decent activation numbers here to keep that to deny that spot to Carthage, but I think it's potentially dangerous, or to take or to subjugate one of these tribes because Carthage automatically has 2 here. So if you're able to subjugate one of them, makes it harder for them to keep that majority.
You used the word subjugate, but is that different from siege?
It's the same mechanics. but the term for a tribe is subjugation, versus siege is for cities. So there might be one or two small. I don't remember the details, but I know it's the same type of mechanic where you need to get 3 points. And I think there's cards that allow you to remove subjugation points versus siege points or something like that.
So boy
yeah.
doesn't go away if it's siege down. You don't take away the tribe marker if it's siege down.
I think you do actually. I think you would take it away. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's say
permanently taken away. Yeah,
if Rome were to subjugate this, I think you take it away and then they put a Roman flag.
Exactly.
Political control marker.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because in the game I was playing, I did that with the Bruti down in southern Italy immediately to just not have any
down here
towns already in
Yeah.
in control or ally.
Yeah, that spot is a kind of like a little bit of a thorn in the side of Rome. Can be a place for Carthage to kind of form a beachhead.
Well, wouldn't it be risky to move into the Cisalpine though, due to the fact that he has 2 allies? So if Hannibal gets to attack before you take down the city, he'll have +2. Right?
Yeah. I think moving too far out up here for Rome is risky for sure.
I'm just wondering who the other consuls could have been.
I can look at the cards.
I went around the same few over and over.
Yeah, there was this guy is no good. Never got him.
I was thinking about doing a video with Scott about a tier ranking of those consoles, right? Maybe there's a software.
Oh, which ones you like the best? Yeah.
Yeah, and where you can rank the different consoles and talk about their weaknesses or their strengths. That
and there's
be interesting for players.
Yeah. There's the variant generals too. Are those all?
The variant generals
are the optional generals, which we didn't play with. What is it spread? Of course, some of the names of them don't make quite sense, but this guy's really good. Salinator.
Yeah.
1-3.
He's good. Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah, it's quite good. Yeah.
This one makes me laugh. You know the history of him. He shouldn't be a consul. It's surely fighting a war. I don't think that. Maybe that's his father or something.
It's his father. Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. Because the one I'm thinking of wouldn't even have been born at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, or been very young. Good point.
Organized
strategy rating one.
Oh, it's maybe. Sorry. Maybe it was no, it was his father, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not his grandfather. I think this guy is was his father, I guess.
Okay.
No, I'm
Shall we?
So, if Alex and Dan, would you have attacked Hannibal at all if you played Rome? Or would you just waited and built up?
So at if the situation was right, yes, for sure. And as I said, I would have, according to the situation, more often considered a retreat also.
Due to the fact that both sides are guaranteed casualties?
Pardon me? Sorry?
Due to both sides being guaranteed casualties?
Yeah, the attrition on the attrition table, and trying to avoid the losses for the retreat dice here on this great or minor dice, and only taking the attrition losses, which would be for both of us. Yeah, that would be my tactic. And okay, if it fails, it fails, but it will not fail every time, because if you pick the right general, you have a decent chance to retreat, and then Hannibal will lose forces and you will lose forces, but it's better for you, this trade-off in the end. because you get more reinforcements than Hannibal will.
Now, if you order and retreat, though, it needs to be after turn 4 or something, I believe. You need to use 4 or 5 battle cards before you can order and retreat, right?
Good question. Let me.
And I believe you do a dice roll.
Yeah, you have to do
Withdrawal,
instead of doing the counter attack, right? You would roll for a first you have to check for the initiative and then you have to check for the retreat. So you have to take a good general for that, right? You can't take a bad Roman consul or general and then try this out against Hannibal. That's suicide. Let me see. I have to double check with the retreat.
It's withdrawal, I think, is the actual
withdrawal
term.
is the correct. Sorry, I always getting the wrong turns.
And then if if the dice roll doesn't allow you to withdraw, then the battle would go on, right? It would be declared as
correct.
Goes
correct.
on, yeah. Let me see. Withdrawal. Where is it written, by the way? Where is it? It is under 16, right? Withdrawals.
I think it's under 16, yeah.
Okay.
There is no limit to the number of times you may attempt to withdraw in a single land battle.
Yeah. So, but I don't see what you said, that there is a restriction that such and such, so many battle cards had to have been played already. You could start withdrawal from the start, right? And
Yeah,
that's what
I
I
think
would
so.
try to do in some instances if I've got a
Yes.
good console.
As soon as possible, and then every
Yeah.
battle card you try to withdraw.
Yeah, and that helps because if you have a good general, you have a good chance to accomplish this, and then you will take the attrition. Okay, that's fine. But Rome can take the attrition, but Hannibal is not so lucky with taking attrition in the end.
Where you may have gotten the 4 or 5 turns might have been something I said before, where it was more like because if you withdraw after the first round, then there was only one round of battle, and then the attrition roll on a d6 is only going to be like you need to roll a 6 or better to take any casualties. But by the time you got to 4 or 5 rounds, it's more likely to have that there's going to be actual casualties taken in the attrition part that Alex is talking about. So
Yeah.
that may have been what you're thinking of. So I propose we stop at this point.
Okay, I stop the recording, okay?
Sounds good.